Hi everyone. Today we are going to discuss integration part 1. We are going to start with REST services. Okay, so let's see how we can expose an Apex class as a as REST service, and what is web service, and what are the methods or properties we have in REST, and how we can authenticate, and what is the authentication mechanisms we have in Salesforce, and what is the limits we have on REST service. Let's see. So first of all, what is web service? Web service is a way of establishing communication between two systems versus language interoperable. What is language interoperable here? Okay, it is language independent. That means if you write a web service in one language and anyone can use that web service from any language. They don't need to follow the language which is used for writing that web service. Okay, that is language interoperable. And if you write web service, that will be consumed by different systems, and that means you are sharing the logic and you are trying to expose your data to external systems, okay, through different authentications. Okay, and they can use or they can invoke your methods through your service. And whenever you have or whenever you write a service, you will have service provider or service consumer. Okay, wherever we are writing a service to expose data to external systems, that is service provider. Okay, whoever requesting our service, that is service consumer. Okay, to request our service, okay, service consumer should have the authentication, should authenticate, and then they can consume our service. And then how we can expose an Apex class as a REST service. Now let's see. First thing is, your class always should be global. That means your class should be with global access modifier, and the method should be global static. Okay, and you have to add annotations, different annotations to a class and method. Okay, what you have to add for your class? Okay, what is the annotation you have to add for your class? That is REST resource. See, if you see here, this is the REST resource annotation. Whenever you are going to expose your class as a REST service, you have to use this annotation REST resource along with the URL mapping. Okay, here URL mapping is /account/star. That means you can send the parameters, or you can have separate different types of bodies on something else. And this URL mapping will be useful for constructing your URI for your service. Okay, because when you are writing the REST service, you are exposing your service through in the format of URI. Okay, for that you should have URL mapping here for your service. And then here you will have different kinds of methods: HTTP GET, HTTP POST, HTTP put, patch, these kind of things are there. Okay, this is also annotation. That means you are making your method, okay, to invoke for a GET request. Okay, that means you are representing your method with @HTTP annotation, and it is invoked for a GET request. That means when external system trying to request your REST service, they have to add GET method in their methods, in their HTTP callouts. Okay, then only they can call this method. Now we know how to expose an Apex class as a REST service. Okay, first thing is that should be global. Another one is that should has REST resource annotation along with the URL mapping, and then you have to define your methods with different kinds of annotations. If it is a GET method, if you are making a method as a GET method, or GET request, for if you are making your method ready for GET request, it should be HTTP GET. If you are making your method ready for POST, then POST request, then you have to use HTTP post. Okay. And then how we can generate URIs. Okay. For that, first thing is you have to use your instance, that is along with the, you can say this is instance.salesforce.com. You can say it's a domain URL or a base URL. You can give like that, and then you have to give services slash apex rest. After that, you have to give your service like this. Service name you defined in URL mapping. This is how you have to give URI to external system to consume your service. Okay, and then let's discuss about the all methods, all kinds of methods we have. I already told you to make your method ready for get request, you have to use HTTP get get annotation to retrieve or to read record from, from your Salesforce or from service provider. Okay, and post means to create records, delete to delete records, upsert HTTP put will be by use for upsert, or and patch will be used for updating existing records. Okay, in that way, according to our purpose, we can create methods with different kinds of annotations. And then for REST, when you are exposing an Apex class as a REST service, you have REST context class. In that, you have a request and response properties to set request and to get the request parameters and to set response. Okay, with the help of response properties. Okay, we can see that everything practically. And then authentications. When you have REST service, when you are writing REST service in our in Salesforce, then you have two types of authentication mechanisms in Salesforce. One is OAuth mechanism. Another one is session ID authentication. OAuth authentication will be provided through connected app. Okay, we are going to see that. And in this example, we are going to use OAuth mechanism, and session ID will be provided through the partner WSDL or enterprise WSDL. Okay, this is how you have two authentication mechanisms. One is through OAuth. You can provide authentication mechanism, or otherwise you can provide session ID authentication mechanism. And then what is the limitation? Okay, whenever you have Apex class, okay, all governor limits apply to Apex REST classes, whatever the limitations we have related to Apex classes or anything in the system. And then the maximum request or response size should be 6 MB for synchronous Apex, or otherwise 12 MB for asynchronous if it is asynchronous. Okay, these are all the references you have. Let's go with practically. Now I'm going to write an Apex class. So you always need to do with the sharing. Then it respects your sharing model in the system. Salesforce Techbook I'm in, and so I think I already written one class. So now you can create one class. Okay, and then it should be global and with the sharing. As I told you, when you are exposing an Apex class as a REST service, you should use this. So I am making it as account record. Okay, our service name is account record. Now, so always it should be global and static method. And then I'm making it as HTTP GET request. making this ready for HTTP GET request. That's it. And if you see here, as I told you, we have REST context class. In that, whenever someone sends, if it is a GET request, external system always sends a parameter in the URL itself, and for getting that parameter you have to use request.params.get of that parameter name. Okay, this parameter name, when you are exposing this service, then you have to give an API document to the external system, and you have to specify what kind of parameters you are going to accept and what are the parameter name you have to specify. According to that, they will send parameter, then you can process that. After that, you are retrieving the account, okay, and based on account ID, you are serializing into JSON, and now you are setting the response, okay. Add header, response body is content type application JSON, and then you are assigning the JSON in the blob format to response body. That's it. Now, whenever someone requests this authentication, this service, then with the account ID, proper account ID which is existing in the service provider, it can give the details of that account name, type, industry, and they can see that. Okay, until now we have created one Apex class which is exposed as a REST service. Okay, and then now what we are going to do, we are going to prepare an URI for that with the help of these things. What is the URI? This is the URI. See here, and in our case, our account record is the URI. This is the one. Okay, and then this is the account ID. Okay, now what we have to do, we have to prepare an connected app, a connected app. Okay, let's see. So app, it's a Salesforce Techbook now. Go to app manager. Okay, you have to create a connected app here by using this one. Okay, I already created, so otherwise I'll show you how to create. So here you have to give all the things, and you have to select enable OAuth settings, and then give callback URL and what type of access you want to provide. You can give. For now I am giving full access. Then you have everything, and then once you save the thing, then it will generate the consumer key, consumer secret. You can see that. So once you save the record, once you save the connected app, then you can see that connected app like this. See here, account service is the connected app name, API name, and this is the consumer key and secret. Okay, along with these things, you have to provide integration user also to external system to authenticate your system. Okay, now we have created a connected app, and we have created a REST service. Okay, and we have everything now. Now for authenticating your system, what is the URI you have to provide? Okay, the URI is you have to provide this URI, your domain URL and token. And then this will be the post method always, and but you have to provide all these things. Grant type, password, and client ID, whatever you have. This is the client ID, consumer key is the client ID, and client secret is the consumer secret, and username, password, method. Okay, these things you have to do. So now what we are going to do, we are going to consume this service from another Salesforce system. Till now what we did, we know how to generate, how to prepare URI for our service, and we know how to write or how to make an Apex class as a REST service, and then we know how to generate token also by using this URI. Okay, now we are going to use everything. Let's see. If you observe this thing, okay, so here I am preparing one URL, and let me put everything. Okay, now I am going to another org. This is another org. Okay, and then this is not Salesforce Techbook, it's another org, another Salesforce system. Click on developer console 3 and go if you see. And now I am trying to execute. So if you see here, nothing, I am doing same thing. URL preparation, that is token generation for now, and grant type equal password. Client ID I gave consumer key, and after that client secret I gave consumer secret from our connected app. Okay, and Salesforce Techbook and password, username, password. That means I am trying to authenticate Salesforce Techbook from 3 and co org. This is the one. Okay, and then I am sending request by using set endpoint URL and set method post, and then getting the body. From that body, I am taking the access token, okay, by using JSON parser, okay, and then I am trying to hit our account service. In our case, our account service is account record, okay, account record, and then account ID. And method is get method, authorization, access token, what you got while you are authenticating, okay, and content type application JSON, and sending the request. Then you will get the account details based on the account ID you are requesting. Okay, let's see the thing. Logs, open logs, and debug only. So if you see here, it gave account body along with the ID and name, okay, and type customer. These are all the things, and industry. This is how you can get the response from the account. So this came from this account is not available in C and Co. You can see this whether it is available or not. Okay, it is not available in this C and Co, but it is available in Salesforce Techbook. There is no relation between these two orgs, but how we can get through our REST service. See here, you got these details in Sri and Co. Okay, this is how you prepare REST service. Okay, and after that you can consume. I mean, anyone can consume your REST service through authentication mechanism and your service. And with this, what you got to know for now, what you are trying to do, you are trying to consume the service which is written in Salesforce. Okay, in the same way, you can consume the REST services which is written in another applications also. You have to follow same way. What thing you need? Okay, whenever someone asks you to consume their services, first thing is you have to ask them about API document. They have to provide endpoint URLs and response for a request format, what they accept, and then authentication mechanism. Everything you have to take, and then you have to do HTTP callouts. Then you can process that data which is coming in the response format. Okay, in the coming which is coming in response. This is how you can. So with this, you know how to write REST services, okay, and how to make a connected app, okay, and how to consume REST services also, you know that. Now, this is how we can do that. And here, only one thing, when you are trying to make any thing or any REST service call to with through HTTP callout, first of all, you have to add these endpoint URLs in your remote site settings, okay, from where you are trying to consume. Okay, that means you have to authorize that endpoint URL in your system. Okay, in our system means in our case, okay, if we are the consumers, we have to add these endpoint URLs in um, remote site settings. This is how we can consume. Okay, cool. Now with this, you know how to write to the REST services, how to invoke, how to consume REST services. Okay, these things you know. And as I already told you, you have two mechanisms, right? One is connected app, another one is session ID. For session ID, how we can generate session ID, and you can see in the integration 2 topic with SOAP services through partner Vistal. Okay, that's how we can do. All the best. Thank you. Instead of token, you can have session ID at that time.